What's going on, guys? On the BPG13. Today's going to be a rant video about Need for Speed and how I think that, well, basically how I think it's just going and, you know, whatnot. But like, basically I just want to start by kicking off by saying that most of the Need for Speed games that have happened recently, so the more recent ones, they've been alright in my opinion, but they've not been the best. Let's just see a few examples. The first original ones I haven't actually played, like the first Need for Speed, the original Hot Pursuit I haven't played. Most people know Hot Pursuit as I think the 2010 version. So everyone's like, oh yeah, I know what most want their Hot Pursuit is, but that was actually remade because of another original game in the Need for Speed series. Need for Speed Most Wanted was actually new, but basically they're just repeating themselves. I think it's Black Box who are doing this year's game, but whoever's creating Rivals this year, they've really there's no point making it, I'll be honest, because there's nothing that you can do really. Nobody can do anything about it. It's all up to the developer to develop the game. Here's the thing, thinking about like what goes on between games nowadays and what doesn't. Need for Speed Most Wanted, the one that was released later last year, 2012, that's a remake of the 2005 version, and that was when Need for Speed Most Wanted first came into the Need for Speed series, you know, the franchise that we all know. Hot Pursuit and Rivals, there's a similarity, for Christ's sake. There's nothing different about Rivals to Hot Pursuit. Rivals is basically a HD remake. They put more modern cars into more up-to-date cars, 2012, 2013 models in from different manufacturers. And the map's not even, I know the map's different and whatnot, but for Christ's sake, the game is exactly the same. I mean, look, Rival, you get to play as a car, you get to play as a racer, you get to play as a cop. Hot Pursuit, you could play as a racer or a cop. See the similarities? Anybody? I do. And I think it's ridiculous. I think, come on, I mean, if you're creating a new Need for Speed game, don't just say, oh, well, I know, why don't we just remake something else? Make a new map, put new cars in it, or like more modern cars, and just name it as Need for Speed. No, that does not work. Trust me, it doesn't work. Now, people are going to be buying this Rivals, but I don't know how many. I, for one, am not buying it yet, because I've played I played the original Most Wanted, I played the more modern Most Wanted, I played Hot Pursuit in 2010, I played the Run in 2011, etc. Basically, my favourite Need for Speed game is 2005's Need for Speed Most Wanted, because the graphics seem a lot better, the storyline was spot on in my opinion, and after that it just sort of went downhill for me. I mean, I don't mind Carbon. Undercover's okay, you kind of got a bit of both worlds really. The dialogue's really no relevance to the story whatsoever really, but I certainly enjoyed the game for what it was. I was just always in it to get the achievements and whatnot, complete the races. The run was simple and straightforward, you could complete it in a few hours as I did at my friend's house. And yeah, then Most Wanted came out, and kind of relating on to what somebody said in one of their videos yesterday about talking about if there should be a Need for Speed Underground 3 or not. They mentioned that Most Wanted, basically you could get in Most Wanted and there's no sort of progression in the game. It's just all, you can just find a car and drive it. So you can find an SLS, Mercedes-Benz SLS, and you can beat all the people, all the blacklist racers. Whereas on the original Most Wanted, Carbon, Undercover, Underground, the original ones, and all the original games before that, you had to buy a car and work your way up. You usually started at the top of the food chain and then you went back down again, so you have to work your way back up again. So that sort of thing, people like that sort of stuff, not just finding a car and playing the game like that, because Basically, that just shows that you're lazy, that you can't be bothered making a storyline, you can't bother getting voice actors in, even just actors really, you just can't be bothered with it, and you're just making the right pig's backside of it. So, yeah, it's just not going to work. I mean, Need for Speed Rivals this year, obviously, I'm going to say this, but I personally am not, I would recommend for not for people to buy it. Anyone who's played Hot Pursuit, don't buy it, because you're buying the same game twice, it's just named differently, and the cars are more modern. If you're the kind of guy that'll go, yeah, well, I'll play it because it's got more modern cars in, be my guest, go for it. It's your choice, not mine. But I'm just saying, the game is actually similar to Hot Pursuit. I've looked into it. I haven't been to any E3 conventions like that of this year, but I know for a fact it is the exact same as Hot Pursuit. I mean, come on, who's with me on this one? It is exactly the same. I know I keep saying it is, but it's because it is. There's nothing different about it. The map's different, the cars are different, you know, things like that. Take, for example, in Hot Pursuit, there was a ring that you could drive around, there was a road that went all the way around a loop, and you could actually drift around it if you've got the skill. In Need for Speed Most Wanted, I happened to notice the same exact circle in the map. That just shows that you are lazy. You couldn't be bothered to change the map all the time. Now, yeah, I'll admit it saves time, but come on. I mean, you've made the same game near enough, or you're near enough gonna make the same game, and the job that Criterion did on the last year's game wasn't a very good one. I personally think that if it's anything that Criterion do best, it's the Burnout games. They did Hot Pursuit, which I kind of enjoyed when I got into it. But Most Wanted, I don't feel like there was anything there for me to enjoy. It was just crap, because there's nothing to enjoy about it. Like I said, there's no storyline. It's pick up and play as whatever you want to be. You know, you can race whatever car you want to, if you can find it. And there's several locations, you know, there's billboards for you to jump through. That kind of spiced things up a bit. You know, Smash Gates, that's actually from Burnout Paradise. I mean, the billboards and Smash Gates, they've just put it in from Burnout Paradise. That just kind of shows that they can't be bothered to put anything new into the game. I mean, for one, like I said, Most Wanted was my favourite because it was spot on with everything about it. The graphics look stunning in the Xbox 360 edition, and they look even better on the PC if you've got a top-end PC. Like, whereas the PlayStation 2, obviously, with its lower quality graphics, it wasn't looking as good. But still, it was a great game to play no matter what console. It came on the DS, it didn't do as well, blah blah blah. But aside from that, I mean, I enjoyed the game as a whole, and it still is my favourite. I mean, I own pretty much every game that the Need for Speed has come out. I mean, I didn't own Underground 1, I'll admit that. I actually did own Underground 2, but I got rid of it due to me not liking it was just, it bored me. I'll be honest, it was too difficult and it bored me, and that's on the easiest difficulty. So that's why I got rid of that one. And then there was like Most Wanted came out, then Undercover, you know, I mean, it then went up and up and up in games, you know, they started bringing out one a year, and in my opinion though, it took a year for them to do the run, I reckon. I don't know why, but I'm guessing it took a year to do the run. Take for instance, now this is related to another game series, Call of Duty Black Ops, or Call of Duty in general. Zombies mode. There's you can tell the difference between the Zombies map creator, the head of Zombies. You can tell who's created a good map between the Zombies department guys and then the campaign guys. The campaign guys do a whole lot friggin' better than the Zombies guys. Do you know why? Because there's more dialogue in it, the story seems to hang on better, and therefore it's actually more easy to do. Whereas when you did Origins was not too bad, but things like Dire Eyes and Buried, those were extremely difficult Easter eggs, not to mention Transit as well. That was a difficult one to do. And the maps were just, they were too simple. I reckon, because like Mobs Are Dead, they had you running about a prison. Origins, they have you running about in France and Normandy, sorry. You know, so there was a change of scene, and it felt a lot more realistic. Even the intro cutscene says it more. I mean, in the intro cutscene, there's no animation there. Joking, there is loads. Whereas if you look at Buried and Die Rise, you'll notice none of the characters' mouths are moving. They have the mouth open and the pictures move, but it's just drawings moving together. It's not animation. Whereas you can tell that with the campaign guys, they've actually took time and effort into doing this sort of stuff, and they've actually put in the time and effort. They've put in the animation time, they've got the voice actors to voice the characters, etc. It's brilliant how they've done it. And the same thing goes for this lot, for Need for Speed. You can tell who's doing the better job. Criterion have made a Pig Zero out of it, so that's them out the window. They're not going to create another one and open. And then you've got Black Box. Now, Black Box, I'll admit, did a decent job of Battlefield and whatnot. Now, I'm not a big fan of Battlefield. I'm not saying I hate it either. I'm not into the whole first-person shooter franchise. But they've done a great job on the Battlefield series, as far as I know of. And then they're coming to do Rivals. Now, putting some like the black box engine that they put in Battlefield to put in an Need for Speed game, it should make it more realistic. Now, I'll admit, from last year's Need for Speed Most Wanted, just carrying on quickly, that the controls were not the best in the world. The cars felt horrible to drive, and I'll admit, the cars didn't even feel that quick. Even when they were doing 150 mph, they didn't feel quick. They felt like you were doing about 80. The Bugatti seemed to be the fastest thing on there. And yeah, I know that's the quickest car probably in the game, but hey, that felt like it was going quick to me. Apart from that, all the other cars just felt slow. And there was a lack of cars. There was about 40 something cars in that game. The real one probably had about less than that, I'll admit. But you've got things like Need for Speed, the original Most Wanted, you know, that's got more than about 50 cars in it. Even in, you know, bonus cars and everything. Undercover had a few as well, but I can't remember how many precisely. I think it was over 30. But you can tell they're reducing the amount of cars, or they're slowly increasing the cars tiny bits. It's mainly because they want to, obviously, like, you know, Rockstar do with their Grand Theft Auto games, they want to put as much detail into the cars as possible, as well as the environment. Now, Project Gotham Racing, before the Bizarre Studios place went, you know, bang and went, just disappeared completely, they did a fantastic job of Project Gotham Racing 4. Now, that was the last one they ever did. If they ever brought it back, I would buy the next one. I'm not going to joke about that. Same with Forza Motorsport, Turn Studios. They're still doing a fantastic job with these games. They're bringing out like one every year or two, and they're still looking absolutely fantastic. I can't say that enough. They are stunning in every single way. Not to mention Forza Horizon, it wasn't my most favourite one. I reckon Forza 4 was my favourite, but that's my opinion. I respect everybody else's if you respect mine. But, you know, aside from that, it's pretty much a two-way battle really. Because if you weigh it up on the scales, Rivals to Hot Pursuit, you'll notice that Rivals will probably pull the scale down, so then Hot Pursuit's the one that's standing in the air. That's because Rivals has basically took everything that's in Hot Pursuit, it's just added on it, and that's it. So it won't feel like much of a game for me. But if I feel like it's impressing me when I see gameplay when it comes out in about 2 weeks from now, then I might consider buying it. But until then, just know I'm not going to be buying it. So that's my opinions on Need for Speed Rivals and how the Need for Speed franchise is doing in general. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like the, you know, if you like the video, if you're feeling generous, and obviously subscribe if you want to keep up to date with everything I do on my channel and my videos and playlists, things like that. And until next time, PPG 13.